and child protective services, and they won't give them back to their loving families because they're making money.
This is a legal system that you're going into. And if you don't know the rules, you will be chewed up and spit out.
If I could say anything to a mother who just got their children detained, you're in a crisis. Yeah. Life feels like it's over. The most important thing is regaining custody of your children.
The child welfare system at its core is designed to protect children who need protection. Okay, and that's key, is who need protection.
So social workers, out of fear, will remove more children rather than only remove those children that truly need to be removed.
It's okay. It's okay.
This isn't someone stole your car. Someone broke into your house. This someone took your child, your flesh and blood.
It doesn't say on this order that it was not proven. It says untrue. True. I immediately knew that, okay, well, this ain't over.
Were there signs there? Were there no signs? Did I miss them? Did I catch them? At this point, I honestly don't know.
Families only get a finite amount of time to reunify.
I came into this field to help families, not destroy them.
The difference between the criminal system and the child welfare system is substantial. You have more rights as a criminal than you do as a parent.
Hi, everyone. My name is Georgette Truin. I am the co-host for Fight CPS Real Talk with Miss G, and I also work for the law office of Vincent W. Davis. I have my co-host, Cassandra, and I also have my guest, I can't see her anymore, Sage. Sage, where are you?
I'm here. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, I keep adding you, and it's not going through. Okay, here we go. All right, Sage. First of all, I need to talk to everyone that I got a call. I shared it with my producer and Cassandra before the show started. So this lady, I don't know if she's a social worker or whatever the hell she is. She called me personally and told me that she didn't appreciate Cassandra crying on my last show because that shows how weak she is. And that was a sign of weakness because she was emotional and cried about her case. And I told this lady to F off, literally. And I told her, I said, you know, you have no right telling somebody else weak because, you know, she's a mother. Mothers normally cry about their children. And that shows emotions. That shows that Cassandra is alive and she has feelings towards her children. So that lady, I have a feeling she's a social worker and she's just trying to say some BS crap. And whoever she is, she's blocked. So, see ya. Anyways, Cassandra, like I told you earlier, I love you the way you are.
Thank you.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. There's definitely wrong with that woman that
if I may add, that is a terribly low blow. Like, to me, that is corny. Like, that's all the only ammunition that she had to say about her emotional distress being that, you know, her kids is involved. Like, that's a low blow. She should have really thought that over. Like, that's not gonna stop nobody from speaking their truth at all whatsoever.
Absolutely.
So try again next time. Try better next time.
Yeah, the people are, I have a feeling she's a social worker because a real mother who feels pain would never say something like that. Would never, ever say something like that. So, again, you know, it is what it is. But I let her have it the best way.
She's corny for that. We're used to it. That's nothing new.
Okay, so I need to share something with you guys. There was a Republican senator in Kentucky that wanted to pass a bill for parental rights. Okay, and the only one that's stopping him is Senator Karen Berg from Louisiana. She's a Democrat,
Of
and she's
course.
saying that we shouldn't allow that because there are kids that's supposed to be, that's supposed to come out of the system. I mean, out of the parents' home, et cetera, et cetera. That there's danger, all that crap. But to me, it makes absolutely no sense. If you're stealing children from parents who are good parents, how come you're not taking the children who are actually abused and you're leaving the children in the abusive home? So I'm beginning to realize more and more and more that the Democrats are really behind this. I mean, Bill Clinton, he put it in place. His wife implemented it when she was in office, and she gave them more immunity and funding. And now the Republicans are trying to do something about it. But, Senator Karen Berg from Louisiana, Democrat, is stopping it.
Well,
Yeah.
shame on her. Shame on her. She needs a reality check. She needs a reality check, and we're going to give it to her.
Yeah. So I just got this newsletter like not that long ago, so I'm gonna read it over, and kind of like kind of like study it a little bit and see what exactly she really means. Um, okay, that's what she said. She said she was concerned the legislation could discourage social workers from removing children from unsafe homes. Then Senator Karen Berg from Louisiana, the Democrat. So let me ask you this. Why are they removing children from safe homes? Why are they removing children with false allegations? Why are they removing children from parents who actually love them and care for them and they're not abusing their kids? But yet there is no checks and balances in the fucking system. On top of that, hearsay is permitted in juvenile dependency courts, but hearsay does not work in criminal courts, and it does not work in family courts either. So all of the sudden, it's okay. Hearsay is okay. The social worker can say the parent, killed the neighbor in front of me, and the judge automatically believes it without any proof or evidence to her statement or his statement. So, Senator Karen Berg, you suck. You're a terrible senator. You're a scumbag.
It's all about racketeering. It's all about racketeering. That's all it's all about.
Senator Karen Berg, you're a scumbag. You don't deserve to be on the Senate seat, because if you have dignity, if you even know what the fuck social workers are doing, your ass would not make such statement. Your ass should be investigating exactly what goes on in the Department of Child Services. Your ass should be listening to Nancy Schaefer and when she exposed CPS and the trickery that CPS goes against parents, against legal guardians, against grandparents, against aunts and uncles. I mean, you have to be the dumbest shit on the Senate seat to make such statement when you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
It's a travesty. It's a travesty.
Sage, don't interrupt me right now, baby. Okay?
Sorry, Queen.
Senator Karen Berg from Louisiana, Democratic senator, you should be ashamed of yourself for making such statement. I would love for you to be in one mother's shoe and have your children snatched from you with allegation that is false, and then let's see you make the same fucking statement. Let's see you making the same statement, because I guarantee you, your ass would not be saying this. Your ass would be saying, we need to investigate this. We need to see what's really going on in the system. But you're making shit like this is disgusting. No wonder, for most of you guys, I used to be a Democrat. I am no longer a Democrat for a reason as of this year, because I see shit like this the Democrats are doing. What the fuck is wrong with you? You think I'm gonna vote Democratic again? You fucking wrong. You guys make me sick. All of you. No wonder Senator Nancy Schaefer exposed you, exposed the Clintons. And no wonder Donald Trump said there's blood on their hands. It's for a reason. You guys are stealing children from families, from mothers who truly loves them and want to care for them. And you rather pay a foster parent to fucking take care of other children when they already have a family who love them. And you, Senator Karen Berg from Louisiana, Democratic seat, you're full of shit. You are full of shit for even making a statement like this. Wow. This blows. This blows. So before you guys start voting, know who you're voting for. And this woman should not be in the Senate seat. So next time you guys vote, don't just vote because you're a Democrat or because you're a Republican. Vote for the right person. This shit has to stop immediately, because it's people like her and other people in the Senate seat. That's why our country is fucked up, because they're not taking a stand and standing up for what's right. So far, I mean, I just can't process this. I just cannot process this. They make me so sick to my stomach. I just want to vomit. Wow.
Like I was saying, Miss G.
Wow.
Like just right before the show, like 86,000 children across the country. 86,000. You know, that's a lot. That's a big number. 86,000 across the country in 2009 were taken out of the home that weren't even being maltreated or neglected.
Right. And let me just add to this. For the people that have not watched this show before, or people that's just coming in, CPS is a protected empire built on just kidnapping children. Bill Clinton 1997 Act offered cash bonuses to the state for every child they adopt out in foster care. And in order to receive the adoption incentives, bonuses, CPS treats kids like merchandise. Okay? That sells. Workers work hard to keep the federal money going. Each bonus is multiplied by a percentage that each state has managed to exceed baseline adoption. Therefore, the state, local communities, which are CPS, work hard to reach their goal to increase the numbers of adoption. This program is set by very top and is ran by the Health and Human Resources. This is why victims of CPS don't get the help from their legislator, because our tax dollars keep this system, gigantic system, floating on cash money. 6 out of 10 kids die in foster care. Children, they're separating children and families. This is called illegal kidnapping. Poor parents are targeted to lose their kids because they do not have money to hire a private juvenile dependency attorney. CPS workers commit fraud and withhold evidence in court, and no checks and balances. Judges allow them to run the fucking show. So therefore, we have judges who wear black robes, sit on a bench, but actually they're just sitting there. That's all they do, just sit there and let the social workers run the show. So really, there's no need for judges because they're cowards. This separation of families and snatching of children is growing as CPS business grows, because the state and local government are accustomed to having these taxpayer dollars to balance their overgrowing budget. The ones who are getting benefits from all this are the state employees, social workers, children therapists, hospitals, court-appointed attorneys, also known as court pretenders, guardian ad litem, CPS investigators, judges, foster parents, adoptive foster parents, and children psychiatrists. All of them are looking for children in the state to provide job security. We, the people, need the federal congressional hearing to abolish the state and financial incentives that turn CPS into a business that separates families for money. The system is broken because CPS has the power to destroy and target innocent families while they leave abused kids in the home of the fucking abusers. What the fuck is happening in America? That's been my question for a while, because where CPS is a political criminal shit, they're like literally they're in charge of everything. They're in charge of everything, and they're nothing but scumbags. They're useless. They're useless.
Power.
They all they have is power. Meanwhile, we have foster parents that are burning children, raping children, and die in foster homes after the mother in Arizona set numerous complaints and concerns about her child being abused in that foster home. And guess what? 80% of the child's body was burned. She was raped multiple times by a fat ass piece of fucking shit foster parent. Okay? Sitting, using the money he gets, abusing the children, and the mother had no right, according to the social worker, had no right to complain, had no right to raise concern about her own child. So this shit is what's going on in our fucking foster system, and this shit is what's going on in CPS, and yet Senator Karen Berg from Louisiana, Democratic senator, states otherwise. She states concerns to keep CPS going. She states concerns to take rights from parents. This bitch would rather have parents not exercise their rights and be parents, and she raises concerns. Well, bitch, go do something right in your life instead of getting paid by our tax dollars, and do what's right and investigate CPS, investigate their crimes, and hold them accountable. Nobody should be above the fucking law. Not even you, Senator Karen Berg. You're not above the law. So what I'm seeing here is that Republicans are trying to do something and the Democrats are trying to keep them silent. Okay? So before you vote, make sure you know who you vote for. Okay then. Sage, please share your story with us, babe.
Okay, so it's been a long ride, but in October, my husband and I were going through a separation. So I figured, I wanted to venture out to somewhere else other than where I'm from. And so I went to a shelter, the worst thing that I did. So I went to a shelter, and it's like they kind of used me as a pawn. I was only there for 2 weeks. Before I got there, they promised me so much things over the phone, and they said, we will be able to assist you. We're going to help you. We're going to do X, Y, and Z. Once I got there, it was like, it was a home. I had 4 children. And so for those 2 weeks, I noticed that they were like treating me differently. They wanted me to make 2 meals a week. They wanted me to, they just wanted me to like bend over backwards, kind of. And I said, I was only there for 2 weeks. So my daughter told me, she said, Mommy, the lady snatched the remote from me. So I didn't think nothing of it. So they started, at that time, it was like, it was President's Day. So they were telling me that if I was over like 50 miles of where I currently reside. So both of my kids have IEPs, and they stated that if it's a certain amount of miles, they wouldn't be able to keep the same school. Long story short, they was already threatening me and telling me, oh, I didn't know anything about the mandated reporting. I've been living in my residence for 3 years. So I didn't know nothing about the mandated reporting. That was something totally new to me. So they said, well, if you don't get your kids fast enough into school, we're going to call CPS on you. So right there, once they said those 3 letters to me, anything that has to do with ACS, CPS, it's over for me. I already know what it is. So once that came into effect, I said, you know what? I have a home. I might as well just go back home because I'm not feeling the vibes here. I'm not feeling the energy. It just feels off. So I came back home, and when I came back home, I didn't think nothing of it. So I got a letter stating that I was under investigation for CPS, which is child endangerment and maltreatment. So I said, this is odd. Why am I getting a letter instead of a knock on the door? So all this time that went by, I didn't even know that it was them. So I came back home. I waited for like 2-3 weeks, and then I went back to another shelter. So I went back to another shelter further. Once I went back to another shelter further, it was all a wrap after that. I didn't find out that it was actually the shelter, first original shelter called. They said that I left my kids. My kids are 12 and 13. And the whole time I was there, like, I love going with my kids, like Family Dollar. I love shopping with my kids. I love buying my kids stuff. They lied and they said that I left my kids by themselves, that I left the bag there, and the bag was a black bag under the bed, and the bag had maggots and also stuff. I didn't find this all to like way after. So my kid's been in the system since November 24th. It's just been a lot of stuff. The case is unfound. They actually went, so then I went to Jamestown, Chautauqua County. That was the worst thing that I ever did. So once I went down there, they basically showed me who runs the town. So I didn't feel comfortable in that shelter. I was there for 3 weeks. After I was there for 3 weeks, I went to social services. I went to social services, which is like basically like a 10-minute walk from where the shelter that I was in a new county that I knew nothing about. Mm-hmm. So once I went there, they said, I waited there and I said, can I please have, this was in November. I said, can I please have something into the first, you know, an overnight hotel or anything like that into the first. And because I was stranded, I had nothing. I had left my phone there in the shelter. I was having a bad day there. The whole time that I was in the shelter, I was feeling like something was not adding up. Once I got there, they wanted me to sign. They were like, oh, we literally get paid to watch kids and so on and so forth. They wanted me to sign. Their main thing was me signing my kids' information, me giving them my socials. That's why I feel like I was a pawn, because it's like they pick certain amount of females that they're like with a certain amount of kids, so that way, you know, they could get some type of funding into their shelter. So I went to the welfare. I was there for like maybe 10 minutes, and I tried to tell them, listen, I've been in this shelter for 3 weeks. I just need something for overnight. Long story short, they lied to me. They said, I went to the bathroom. I came back out thinking that they were going to find me an overnight. She said, we're about to close and I'm calling CPS on you. So I said, why? She said, we're calling CPS because we don't have nowhere for you and your children to sleep tonight.
Wow.
So as I walked towards the door to leave out the door was locked. And she said, she locked us in there. She locked us in the welfare center, social services at Chautauqua County, me and my 4 children. So she locked the door. When she locked the door, I said, can you open the door? She said, if you leave, I'm going to call the cops on you. And I said, call them because I haven't done anything. So she opened the door. They was following us. I was upset. The cops locked me up. I got into a situation. I was stranded. I had no phone. My phone was at the shelter the whole time. I didn't even want to go back to the shelter. I left my phone there. I had my $150 was missing. So basically what they did was they came from where I'm at in Rochester to another county and took my kids from there. I didn't find out that Morristown had actually filed this CPS. I thought it was just like a random person. I'm like, who could it actually be? Like, why do I have a CPS case? Like, I'm the type of person that I don't have overnights. I don't let people come to my house. I don't let my kids go outside to the store by themselves. Like, I've always been, since the coronavirus, I've been a parent that's been home with my kids home. And if we do anything, we do it together. We go shopping together. So I'm like very, very cautious with my kids. So yeah, ever since November 24th, my kids have been in foster care. They got them separated. It's 4 children. They're separated. My 3 girls were together. And since she mentioned something that was going on with the foster parent's son, they punished her for speaking up, and they actually separated my 12-year-old from my 9 and my 2-year-old. And my 13-year-old was somewhere else by herself, sharing a room with a 16-year-old. Mind you, I have a 4-bedroom. I have a 4-bedroom here. My kids never needed anything. They haven't even come visit my home because they know what it is. They came to my house the first time in the beginning, and the CPS worker just wanted to finish cross-examining questions. She wanted to keep asking me questions. She didn't even care about the room. She didn't even care. They target me because of the money, the new money that's coming in with the child tax credit thing that's going on. So they targeted me because of that. Financially, I'm not saying that I was up here, but I was not in the lower class. You know, my kids have everything that they needed, and they knew that. So I've been visiting my kids since December, and there's no unsupervised visits. There's none of that. So they're railroading me. And they don't like when someone knows their rights. They want somebody to bow down. It's all about control and power. That's all that it's about. They don't like for someone to know what's going on.
Wait, let me stop you for a second. You made a good point. They don't like it when you question them. Remember that the truth hates being questioned. But I mean, the truth doesn't mind being questioned, but the lie does. The lie minds being questioned. So people, you need to understand this. You do have rights, but they want to bully you, to make you so scared of these motherfuckers that they're nothing but a piece of shit on the ground. That's what CPS are. They're a piece of shit on the fucking ground. So they target parents like Sage and other parents. Let me tell you a true story. One of our clients, she was in a domestic violence. Her piece of shit husband beat her when she was pregnant. Then he calls the police, tells the police she beat him. The bruises are on her, not on him. He's bigger than her. But the police comes. The report doesn't go under his fucking name. It goes under her name. Social workers become involved. They tell the mother, you need to go to a shelter and leave the home. The mother goes to a shelter with her baby, her child, and then her unborn child. Then at the shelter, the mother is reported to CPS because she's pregnant and she has a 2-year-old. Now you understand? But yet they tell them to go to a shelter. But then the shelter reports the mother.
For money is entrapment.
There is no hiding. There is no protection. So who really think about it, everyone. Think about it. The Democrats fight for these things that they provide the public, right? Which is cash aid, food stamps, shelters, this, that. So people think the Democrats are for the people. But what they're actually doing is they're setting the people up to fail. Because what they become in the system, they become a fucking number. They have a number. They're already targeted with that number. There is no safe place to go to when you're being abused. And then they say the mother failed to protect. But you sons of bitches are the reason why these children are suffering. These children are facing trauma because of you, not because of the mom. The mom didn't fail to protect. So this is how our system works. And they look at us like we're low class and they're higher class. You're higher class, you motherfuckers, in your eyes, because you're stealing money. By stealing children for money. So yes, you're going to make $178,000 to $200,000 a year, and most of that money is incentives anyways. So
dirty
yes,
money.
you drive the luxury cars, you live in better homes because you steal children for a living. But you're not higher than us. You're actually the lowest of the low. You're the scumbags. You're bullshit. You're nothing but assholes. And literally, we are more richer than you are. Because we have compassion, we have love, we care about our children, and we would do anything for our children. But what do you guys have but money? You ain't taking your money with you when you die. There is no U-Haul that's going to be dragged behind you when you die. But karma is a bitch, and God's wrath is greater than anyone can ever process. And God's timing is even better. You might not see it, but it will come and hit you so hard that you will not know how to recover from it. Because all you care about is lies. Lies to get what you want. Lies and mothers to get what you want, which is money, funding children. And that's why you actually can take what a social worker the other day took a picture. It was on YouTube. She took a picture of a child. She's kissing a child, a baby that she just stole from his mother. And whoever the photographer was took that snapshot and said, "Oh, she's a social worker." Yeah, but this is just a fucking picture, right? A narcissist can take a picture with his children and make it look like they're having a fun time. But inside, the child is scared. You're stealing a child from their mother. There's a bond. The child's DNA stays in the mother for the rest of her life. So for these motherfuckers to steal children and make money off of it, and a Democratic Senator, Karen Berg from, oh my God.
From hell.
Yeah. She sucks. It's Louisville. Yeah, Louisville. Here we go. A Louisville Democratic Senator. And I'm telling you, she's against parental rights. She's against your constitutional rights.
What are her credentials? What are her credentials?
She's against it. She's against it. She's against it. There's a Republican senator from Kentucky is trying to pass this bill, right? And she's against it. She's against it. So
well, she gotta go.
Parents to have rights. She doesn't want parents to have rights. She doesn't. And yet, most likely she is a parent. She is a parent. But one day, she might feel the pain that other mothers feel. You know, one day. We don't know. But one day, she might feel that pain. Because what they're doing is illegal. Because it could happen to her great-grandkids or her grandkids. One day, the system might be so more powerful where they will go and snatch her grandkids from her daughter or her son. Right? You never know. That might happen, right?
Hopefully not.
It doesn't
Hopefully
matter if
not.
her mother or father used to be a senator or not. How would that feel? How would a senator feel when a social worker goes to her house and steals her grandchild, steals her kids from her? But I'm sure Karen Berg is probably saying, well, I'm a good parent. I have money. I have a palace. You know, but how are you getting your money? We're paying for your ass. Our tax dollars is what pays for you. We pay for you. We pay for those workers, right? We literally, our tax dollars is what pays these scumbags to have that much power over our lives, which they shouldn't have that much power. They shouldn't have that much power. Do you guys understand what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
Barbara said, and then they tried to tell the family that the child has bonded with the foster parents so they can adopt the child. What about the natural lifelong bond with their family? Evil. Yes, they are. Yes, they bonded with the foster parent after 17 court hearings you postponed.
Trauma. It's trauma.
Of course they're gonna, it's not even a bond, it's a fake bond. You motherfuckers, whoever a judge says that's a fake bond. Nobody can bond with a child more than the mother. No one. No one can bond with a child like the mother, because the mother, the DNA of the child stays with the mother. No one. So you guys think that you're doing justice for children? No, you're not. You're actually traumatizing the kids, and you're medicating them on top of that. You're medicating kids to keep them silent. You're medicating kids to keep them quiet. That's exactly what you're doing. What did Sage do for her kids to be taken from her? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. She did what she was advised to do. Am I right, Sage?
You're correct.
There you go. She was advised to go walk to the pit that they dug for her so she can fall in it and then take her children. They literally dug a pit for her, said, hey, Sage, go there. You'll be safe. And then they turn around and steal her children. And all Sage was trying to do is protect herself and her child. Am I right?
They were excited. They said, oh, we have something for you.
Yeah, yeah.
They targeted me. They said, 4 children, Hispanic, we have something for you.
Yep. It's crazy. And they make up stories like the kids bonded. That's a lie. Kids never bond with a stranger. What the kids do is settle. They settle.
Yeah.
They settle. The kids settle. That doesn't mean that you will ever replace the mother. A foster mother would never replace the biological mother. Because these scumbags are dirty and filthy in everything that they do. You don't just steal children and make money. So what the fuck are we doing here?
It's like a monopoly game. It's like a monopoly game.
Yep, it's a monopoly. Oh, on top of that too, be aware, and I hope to God children who are in the system are watching this show, and I hope to God they watch it all the time. Because when they tell your children your mother or father didn't show up, they were too busy for a visit, don't fucking believe that. Because your mother and father are fighting so hard for you, so fucking hard for you to try to get you home. They will never deliberately miss a visit unless the social worker does it and doesn't want to tell you as a child so you can resent your family, so you can tell them, I don't want to go home. No one is going to love you more than your own mother or father. No one. Not your stepmother, not your stepdad, not the foster parents, not a stranger, no teacher, no counselor, no fucking doctor, no nurse. No one can love you as much as your own mother and father. Period. If you have good parents who fought hard for you, they love you and they suffered extremely hard to get you. And I have spoken to foster kids that grew in the system, that 18 and 22 and 21, they actually called me and told me they used to tell them their parents didn't want to see them anymore. They tell every child the same thing. And Senator Karen Berg, shame on you. Shame on fucking you. Because you guys pissed me the fuck off. Because you guys lie. You fucking make up stories. And that's why you implement. And that's why you support CPS. You support the social workers because you guys are scumbags. For what? For a vote? Maybe? What?
Do it
You
for
want
the
to
money.
vote? That's all you guys care about is vote and money?
Mm-hmm.
While you wear your Armani suits and you have your $15,000 refrigerator? I mean, give me a fucking break. Like, what the fuck? And here are the people fighting for their kids. No one is listening to them, etc., etc. What the fuck? We need to be the voice here. We need to be heard. We need to fucking be heard. We need to fucking be heard. Enough is enough. Enough is fucking enough. Not every parent can get fucking attorneys to fight for them. Not every parent can get an attorney to fight for them. And you're stealing children. You know, kids, I asked a 21-year-old that grew up in the system. I said, if you had a chance, and say your mother lives in a 1-bedroom apartment, right? And say your mother gave you her room and she slept in the living room. And then you had a house, a foster house it's a 2-story house with 5 bedrooms in the house, and they drive luxury cars or whatever. I said, if you had to do it all over again, who would you rather be with? He said to me, I would rather be with my mother in a 1-bedroom. That's exactly what he said to me. So all this bullshit, it doesn't mean shit. A child needs to be with their fucking mother.
Mm-hmm.
Period. It is disgusting. It makes me want to... Oh, my God. Okay, well, Barbara said, who will listen to us, though? Especially when we can't afford an attorney. Oh, my God.
Even if we have money for an attorney, depending on what state and county we're in, it still wouldn't make a difference because they're scared because of the power. So you will have to go to federal court and you will have to prove that it was without due process, which all of it is without due process. Regardless, that is the whole gaffle. That is the whole gimmick. It's a monopoly. They do it with the court pretenders. They do it with even contacting attorneys that you can pay. It still wouldn't even matter. It's the whole concept of the conspiracy, of the racketeering that they're doing because of the money. And because they feel that they can get away with it. Yes, and who's going to listen to us? Who's going to believe us? Like I've heard a whole bunch of CPS workers saying, who you think the judge is going to believe, me or you?
Exactly. Yep.
So if it's the truth,
that's what they tell everybody, Sage. They tell everybody this. We are untouchable. I heard social workers on video tell the parents, you can't do anything. We are untouchables. That bitch was looking at a parent crying for her child. She said, I'm going to get you. And she told her, you can't do shit to me. We are untouchable. I heard that. The video was on YouTube, and guess what YouTube did? Brought the
Took
video
it down.
Yeah, because even Facebook is not, they don't want to get involved with the government. So they don't want to expose what's actually going on. So they want to cover it. Everyone wants to cover everything and hush, hush, hush. No, hush no more.
Exactly. We can't do that. We can't keep silent. And all these mothers out there in America that say to themselves, oh, these mothers, the reason they took their children from them is because they're bad parents. Unless it happens to you, do not judge others. And I keep telling everybody that do not judge others because you don't know what mothers face in these corrupt government. People do not understand. We all need to come together and protest against this demonic system. They need to be defunded. They need to fucking be defunded. These motherfuckers just steal children, no matter what. And there's no checks and balances in court. Well, and then they complain there's so many cases. Well, if you don't steal children, you wouldn't have so many fucking cases.
They love the cases. It's all a gaffle. They love it. They love more cases, more money.
They complain.
They're trying to fund.
Yeah.
They're trying to fund to have more social workers because their workloads are too much, and they're freaking doing all this funding for new social workers, new jobs for social workers. They're trying to hire new social workers constantly in every state. Like every state that I've read about, it's like, oh, we're giving them funding to find more social workers. We're giving them funding to find new freaking training for people to be social workers. Like,
you see commercials and billboards of funding. All I see is commercials and billboards of, oh, you want to be a foster parent? Oh, we need foster parents. Oh, we glorify foster parents. It's all a gaffle. That's all it is. More foster parents, more foster parents. Like, come on, now it's up. The gig is up. Reality check.
You know what's sad? You know what's really, really sad? Is when they say, oh, defund the police, defund the police, defund the police, right? But you're not fucking defunding the social workers. You don't want to defund them. You're actually defunding the police. The police. We don't need defunding the police. We want the police. You're right. We've won them. Maybe there's one bad apple or two bad apples in the police station, but honestly, there's not one good apple in the Department of Child Services. There's not one. There's not one. And then I love it when a social worker says, I don't like the way she talks, right? A social worker was taped telling one of the parents that I don't like the way your wife speaks because she has a New Jersey accent, a New Jersey slang. So basically now they're judging parents on their slang, on their, accent. So now, well, it's been like that because if a social worker doesn't like you, say you're prettier than her, or say that you have more class than her, right? Or that you have an accent. She doesn't like New Jersey. She doesn't like the people in New York. Whatever. She will retaliate against you just because of the way you look and the way you speak. We are all different humans. There's African Americans, there's Middle Easterns, there's whites, Caucasians, there's Indian, there's Jamaican. We all are different personalities in different countries. Countries and states. We're different. We're humans. We're different. We can't be the same. That doesn't mean that we're bad parents. It doesn't mean that Sage is a bad parent because Sage, wanted to, because Sage has an accent, or Sage, when she speaks, she gets loud. That doesn't mean that she's a bad parent. It doesn't mean Cassandra is a bad parent because she cries when she speaks about her children. That doesn't mean anything. We are all different. We should be respected for who we are
as a human being.
And that shouldn't indicate if we're bad parents or good parents because we are different. This is ridiculous. The social worker can easily look at you and say, I don't like you. And they do it. They say, I don't like you.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you like me? Oh, she has tattoos. What does tattoos have to do with it? I actually met a guy that has tattoos on his arms and legs. Seriously, no joke. And he was how can I explain to you? He was the sweetest guy you'll ever talk to. And I even asked him, I said, what's up with the tattoos, man? And I was talking to him. He said, Miss G, I just wanted to show you, there's a story behind this tattoo I have. He was in foster home. They stole him from his parents. He didn't know they separated him from his brothers and sisters. He couldn't find them. So for every memory he had with his family, he made a tattoo of it. For example, amusement, like a swing. He had a swing. And that swing was the last time he saw his dad and mom, for example. Or a table with food on it. That was the table last time they had a gathering as a family. So every story, or hugs that he gave his brother and sisters, or gift exchange. He had a story for everything he missed out on. So everything on his body was a story from his childhood. And that man said, I've been looking for my parents. I've been looking for them. And he can't find them.
Wow.
And I gave him a number of a private investigator. I said, maybe he can help you find them. He said, Georgette, I didn't even know where they are. The foster parents did not want to tell him what state he was in. He was young. He didn't know what state he was in. And all he remembers is that his family loved him so much. And I said, do you remember your family doing drugs, or do you have a history of domestic violence or abuse? And he said, no. He said, my mom and dad would joke around when they're cooking, and then they tell us we better eat the food that they're making, or else, we're gonna go to bed hungry. And then they would say, you don't want to go hungry. He remembers little details. And he said, my family never fought. So he doesn't understand that. I said, did your mom ever smoke marijuana or sniff cocaine or whatever? He said, no. He said, by 9 o'clock or 9:30, my mother was so exhausted that my dad had to wake her up from the couch to put her in bed. That's all he remembers. So in his growing in the foster system, he doesn't understand why he was removed from his family, other than the social worker telling him, your father did drugs, your father is in jail, your mother did this, and they don't want to see you, they don't want to visit you, and this and that. And then when he became 12, they asked him, do you want to be adopted, or do you want guardianship? You want the foster parents to have guardianship? And he picked guardianship. He didn't want to be adopted. And then after he became 18, they kicked his ass out. They kicked his ass out of the home, told him to go get a job, and get the fuck out. That's all they said to him. Because there's no use for him no more. So if that was your mother or father, guess what? Your mother and father would never kick you out of the house. If they love you, if they love their children and care about their children, they would be an example for you. And you will excel from that love. But people who are not blood related to the kids will never love the children as much as the parents do. Ever. No matter how many gifts you're going to buy that child, it will never be the same. You can keep them quiet with an iPhone. You can keep them quiet with Android or whatever the hell. You can keep them quiet with a tablet. But it's only a temporary fix. Because you cannot replace your mother. I'm sorry, you can't. My father used to say this to me, your mother, like on Father's Day, I used to go to my dad. I used to buy him ties every year. He never wore a tie in his life. But I bought him ties because I love ties. And he would always tell me, go say Happy Mother's Day to your mom. And I said, but it's Father's Day. He said, but she deserves that. Because she stays with you guys when you're sick. She's up with you guys all night. She cooks for you. She takes you to school. She helps you with your homework. She cleans, right? She washes your clothes and takes care of me as her husband while I go work and be the provider. I said, Dad, but you're our father. He said, I'm your father. I'm your protector. I protect the family. But your mother is your everything. I'm being honest. That's exactly how my father was. So all this chaos in the world, domestic violence, and I hate my wife, I hate my husband, all this shit has to stop. Because once you have kids together, it's over. It doesn't matter how you feel about each other. It's the child or the children that you have that really fucking matters. That's all I see. I see families against each other for domestic violence, for child support, for this and that. Go ahead, Cassandra.
And like, that's what people don't understand. Like, even though like me and my baby's dad were separated, and what happened is he got them taken, like it was his fault that they got taken away.
Right.
No matter what, we always agreed that our children, we never fought or never we never fought about our kids. We never used our kids as weapons towards each other, no matter what. Like, he always used to brag of how much of a good baby mama I was because I didn't give him drama with the kids and I didn't do that to him. Like, you guys, people don't understand, like, kids are not weapons.
Right.
They're not. And when you make them weapons, that's when CPS and stuff gets involved.
Wow.
So never make your kids weapons. Never call CPS on each other, because that's just straight dumb. Like, really. Because, like, I had a really good co-parenting relationship with their father, believe it or not. Even though he did stupid things, we still had an agreement that we'd never use our kids against each other.
Right.
And when he did get them taken away, he told me, don't worry, I'll get them back. And he did everything he possibly could to get them back. And I've never seen that man sober in my life. And he got sober. He did everything he could. The class is twice over. They told him, oh, we'll give him back to you in 6 months. And then they found another reason why not to. And they kept on adding reasons on why not to.
Wow. You know, I just cannot process. I'm serious. I'm seriously. I'm serious. I can't even talk anymore. It's. I need you guys to search this. Okay, it's called Senate Committee Green Lights Parents' Rights Bill. I need you to Google this. Google it. I want you to read this. I want you to read this. The Democrats will never, ever, ever want to okay a bill that enforces parental rights. I kid you not. I am so disgusted. I'm in my mid 50s. I'm so disgusted that I actually voted Democratic before. I am so disgusted that in my schools, they actually taught me that Democrats are for the people and Republicans are not. So as a child, I've always said I'm going to be a Democrat because I'm for the people. As a child, I've always loved people. I want to help people, homeless people, kids who are crying. That's who I am. And that's why I became a Democrat. But it's a lie. That's a fucking lie. They're not for the people. They're not. Because what's for the people? Food stamps and cash aid? But yet we become a number and you steal our children. What's for the people exactly? Shelter? Yet when we go to the shelter for protection, as we are told to go to a shelter, you steal our children. Safe home? Yet when we go to a safe home, you steal our children. You steal kids and lie about the parents, and nobody believes the parent. The judge believes the social worker. So why do we have a judge? I keep asking myself, why do we have judges? I thought the judges enforces the law. I mean, am I wrong? I mean, I thought. But in actuality, judges are there as a show. Kind of like you have extras on a commercial, right? You go to, if you're an extra on a commercial, your body is there, right? You just show us a picture or a movie or whatever, but you don't have a speaking line, right? That's exactly how our courtrooms work. The judges are there, but the voice are the social workers, and they're not being held accountable. That's why they do what they do. Hello, they're not being held accountable. So when is enough enough? When is enough enough? I need you guys to call Momentum Funding. I mentioned it in the last week's show. And you should do that too, Cassandra.
Yeah.
866-534-4602. I think I'm gonna put it here. Momentum Funding provides financial assistance for legal cases. Okay? 866-534-4602. There we go. So I posted it. You guys see it? You guys should call this number seriously. Call this number. And we have somebody that called our office before to hire us. She said they're funding her. Okay? So it works in certain states. Well, they're in New York, right? I believe they're opening an office in California, but they fund certain states. For example, they don't fund Las Vegas and Las Vegas. They don't fund Arizona. I don't know why, but they choose only certain states. I think what it is, I guess it depends on the state. Like in Las Vegas, it's a no-no, right? They don't allow it in Las Vegas. You cannot help parents who are fighting for their children, period. So there's only certain states that they can fund for, okay? But when you call them, get the information from them and let them know Georgette from the law office of Vincent Davis referred me to you guys. Okay? They know me. They should know me by now. I've been dealing with them for a while. So call them and get more information from them and ask them which state they fund and which state they don't. Okay. Cassandra, is there anything you want to say before we close?
I just want to know, like I always say on like every show, knowledge is power. I found a website where it tells actually it's for like attorneys and judges and social workers to learn about how to represent people in cases and how to how to judge if a child is unsafe or safe and the processes they go through or supposed to go through. But it's available to anybody if you just register. And
Where
then
is
you
the website, baby?
It's learn.childwelfare.com.
Learn.child. Wait, hold on.
Learn.childwelfare.com.
Okay.
And it's you register, you answer the little questions, and it asks you if you're a biological parent or if you're this or that, and you could put your biological parent, and then it asks you what field you're in, and you just put not apply, because you're not in any of their stupid fields. You're not none of those pieces of shit.
Right.
Okay. And then it lets you go on, and there's like e-learning classes. Like the one I like really learned a lot from was the child safety training for judges and attorneys. And then the representing parents in child welfare case. Like they have training videos and you get certificates for it.
Right.
And then another thing is like the childwelfare.gov is where I found this. I found this website. It linked to this website that I'm telling you about. But the childwelfare.com is the child information gateway. Child welfare information gateway.
Right.
And that's where I get all my newsletters from that tell me about stuff that's happening currently in child welfare. And it has a lot of state resources, a lot of stuff. You go look in the library. It tells you all the laws. Gain knowledge, and it would help you a lot throughout the whole thing, knowing what the hell is really going on.
Right. I am very proud of you. Actually, when you were sharing that with me today, I was like, I actually went on and I inquired. It's amazing. And we all need to stand together, you guys. We need to fight this together. We need to protest. We need our voice has to be heard. They need to know that we are united together. We're not separated. We are united together. All of us.
And your child's voice needs to be heard too.
Exactly.
Your child's voice. Know and tell your children when you talk to your children that if they're old enough to know, they have rights.
Right.
And they should always know their rights, and their rights should be listed in a group home. If they're in a group home, it should be listed on the wall. Call your abundance person.
Right.
Freaking find out. Get the knowledge of your child's rights.
Right.
Because those are the ones that are getting most violated the most.
Yep.
And the most important thing is our children. So make sure their rights are being held, just make sure that they're getting their rights respected. And because I took a class for the California State Child Abundance Seminar. Like I went through the whole seminar and prudent parent responsible thing that foster parents are supposed to know about being good parents for our kids. I took that class too. Tried to tell me I'm not a good enough parent for my kid. Well, I took the same training your foster parents did. I'm trying to find ways around them to freaking make it better.
Barbara, honey, I know I spoke with you before, but I need you to call me at work. I need you to do a consultation with Davis about that. Or maybe I can see if Jennifer Ani is available to speak with you real quick, but call me at work today. Okay. Let Ms. G, would you agree that parents need advocates, team members at all times to help keep social workers in check at meetings, etc.? You know what, Sylvia? That's really hard to answer that, only because sometimes advocates stand in your way. I believe that you need an attorney, not an advocate. I'm sorry, because advocate, we had a lady that's an advocate. She literally ruined one of our clients' case herself, and she thought she knew the law. She doesn't know the fucking law. Let me tell you why. Because an advocate doesn't go to court. I mean, doesn't go to school, become a juvenile state attorney, and studied and understand the law that way. No. In order for you to win in a juvenile case, you have to use strategy. Strategy is what wins a case. You don't go to court and say, I want justice. It's either you want justice or you want your children back. Period. There's only two answers. It's a yes or no. Do you want your child back? Yes or no? There is no in between. So there's a lot of advocates that I have seen personally who are taking advantage of needy parents who are anxious to get their children back. And then some advocates charge money for it as well. You need to be very careful with that. Or they're not charging money right away, but what they do is they get your trust so you can write a good review about them, so that way they can start charging slowly. You have to be careful with that. Go ahead, Cassandra.
The be your own advocate kind of thing. Like, that's what I'm trying to tell people. Like, know knowledge and then be your own advice. Like, get your own advice through websites that you read, that you know. Like, I'm learning things like this on websites and getting certificates for things that I'm learning because that's the law. I know that's the law. Like, I know that's what's really supposed to happen because it's on a government website that shows a certificate.
But also, 1 minute, but also, even though they tell you what the law is, but the strategy is what reversed that to work for you. Because they screwed up your life so badly that the strategy is what reversed it to work for you. Now, Sylvia, I love you. Thank you so much for that, considering me, someone like you, to be an advocate. I am an advocate for everyone. All parents, I'm an advocate for all parents. However, if I go to court with you,
oh gosh,
oh my gosh, it's not a good idea.
No.
Even Davis would not agree to that, because I would literally tell the judge, what the fuck are you doing? That's not who you want on your corner. I love you. I am on your corner. I'm the voice. I'm doing things behind the scene. There's no need to discuss, but I am your voice. Ask Cassandra. Am I their voice or not?
Yeah.
I can't discuss how or what I'm doing, but I'm doing the best I can. All right? So I am your voice. But in court, you need somebody that is an attorney. And I would love for you to call me at the office and tell them you were on the show with me today, and let them know that you want to speak with me. And let me see if we have one of our attorneys available to speak with you. Okay? But you need legal help. You need legal advice. Not just from any attorney, from a qualified juvenile dependency attorney.
And that's another thing. On that website that I just said, like on the little section that's supposed to be representing parents in child welfare cases. Like, they straight tell you in the little video that they show a video, and they tell you juvenile dependency court is a whole nother ball game from criminal court. It really is. And they take specialized attorneys who take the time to study this stuff to help you. They wrote a book about it. These people that are teaching these things, they wrote a book, and the book is representing child welfare, parents in child welfare. Like, it is a real whole nother ball game, and people, you really need to know that. Like, it's not, she's telling the truth when it comes to that. Like,
I see there's a lot of advocates that know me, and I know them. And I'm not retaliating against anybody. I'm just speaking the truth. This is for anyone that knows me. I speak my mind. I don't care if you're the president. I don't give a shit who you are. I will speak my mind. I will tell you. I don't know how to sugarcoat in life, period. I just don't. I either say it or don't say it at all. But you need a qualified legal assistant. Do not depend on an advocate, period. And then on top of that, please, please, please educate yourself. Understand how to speak to them. There is, okay, a testimony of a psychiatrist, okay, that was yesterday. The psychiatrist said that the mother had a bond with the child. That's her testimony. However, the judge dismissed her testimony because she didn't say the child and mother had a maternal bond. Okay? You have to understand the fucking language. They're demons. They're fucking demons. They don't speak normal language.
They speak a legalese. That's what it's called.
Legalese. Whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it.
Research it. It's called legalese.
Yes. So you have to understand, not a family law attorney doesn't understand that. But, however, a therapist, a psychiatrist should have been talked to by the attorney. So the attorney can educate her or him on how to say what she needed to say legally. Right? To be heard. That's why it's important to hire the right attorney. Now, some people lose their own case, right? And then they blame the attorney for it. Because they're not listening or they're withholding information from the attorney. So, again, it's a juvenile dependency attorney that needs to be involved in your case so that way you can understand how to win your case. Mm-hmm. And that attorney has to review your case, right? If it's a year old, he has to review all the documents in order for he or she, and study it, in order for he or she comes up with a strategy. I don't know what Princess said. Understand MF. Okay. MF. Okay. It's all set up that way. Okay. Abolish. Yes. Abolish. All right, guys, we're going to have to go to, we have to end the show.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, we got to end the show. I got to go to work.
Oh my God. Thank you, Cassandra. I love you, girl. I'll see you next week. Watch me tonight, you guys, 7:00. Relatives Fight CPS. God bless you all. And I will see you guys later. Okay. Bye.
Bye.